And we welcome you back for Game 2 between the Big Train and the Metro Soco Braves. A little later than expected, but we are hoping to have an 8:25 first pitch, maybe even a couple minutes earlier. Alongside Adam Glover, I'm Eli Kleinman. It was the Big Train who won 5-2 in Game 1. Let's take a look at the recap. And we say hello once again from Shirley Povich Field. Adam, as we get set for Game 2, what is your key to the game for the Big Train?
I think it's another good start from Jesse Gutierrez. He's had, over the last few starts, a couple of really, really good outings. If he can move quickly, stay ahead of these hitters, he's going to find success, and it's going to be huge for the Big Train when it comes to trying to pick up a win today.
Well, let's give you the lineup he is facing for the Metro Soco Braves. Jeffrey Coakley, the second baseman from Mansfield, leads things off, followed by the catcher Cole Fleming. Catcher Halligan hits third once again. The Houston Baptist product second in the league in RBIs. Quinn Madden bats clean up the center fielder from James Madison. Travis Illich bats fifth. JT Landwehr bats sixth. And then it's Jason Menler, Matthew Wright, AJ Labrusciano bats ninth. We'll take a quick break for the national anthem and be right back. And we say hello from Shirley Povich Field. We gave you the Metro Soco Braves lineup. Let's give you the Bethesda Big Train defense. From left to right in the outfield, it goes Orr, Ruddle, and Twigo. At third base, it is Guerrero once again. Rasmussen mans the spot at shortstop. Phelps at second and Cunningham at first. It is Clay Wargo who is the catcher. He is part of the battery with Jesse Gutierrez. And what a start it's been for Gutierrez, making his 4th start of the season. The San Jose State left-hander with a .75 ERA and 12 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts to go along with it, and just the 1 run allowed.
Yeah, if you look at his last outing back on the 25th against the Giants, he pitched in Game 2 of that doubleheader last Sunday. A little bit off. 6 hits. He is a pitch-to-contact guy, but 2 hits through those first 2 starts, so definitely a little different than what we've seen from him. But still, just the 1 earned run allowed. He's gone 12 innings this year, allowing just 1 earned run. If he can replicate even what he did in that last start, he should be fine. It just so happens to be that start, the Big Train offense couldn't get going.
He got the loss in that start. The umpire crew rotates for Game 2. Jerry Parks is behind the plate. Dave Stewart mans first base, and it is Mike Reno at third tonight. Big Train winners of 3 straight. Braves losers of 6 in a row. Do the tides change, or do things keep rolling on as they have been going? I'll find out right now. Margot throws down to second, and we are just about set for baseball between the Braves and the Big Train in their 4th and penultimate meeting of the regular season.
Again, a reminder, this is another 7-inning game. We had the 7-inning game for Game 1, and it's going to continue here rather than it be a 7 and a 9-inning game. And this lineup, looking at it for the Braves, got a healthy mix of both Game 1 starters and new guys as well. Guys like catcher Halligan and Quinn Madden back in the lineup. But we get to see Coakley and Fleming, the top 2 in this lineup for the first time today.
So here we go. Coakley to the plate. And the right-hander takes the first pitch. Fastball outside, a ball and no strikes. Gutierrez loves to work quickly, and he rocks the windup and deals a 1-0, and Coakley lines it foul down the right field line and out of play. It's a ball and a strike. 8:26 first pitch. Almost 90 minutes later than expected because of a rain delay that pushed Game 1 back. 1-1. Fastball ranges high and away, 2 balls and a strike to Coakley. Mansfield product at the plate. Waits on a 2-1. Swing and a miss at a fastball. Even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mansfield, a Division II program in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. 2-2. And the fastball ranges away. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Another uncommon thing for Jesse Gutierrez is walks. Just 3 this year, but in that last start walked 2, when in the previous 2 starts had walked just 1.
He rocks the 3-2 pitch, and it is a ball 4 upstairs. Coakley draws a leadoff walk, and that's the first base runner of the day. Cole Fleming to the plate. Fleming hitless yesterday, but did score a run in the loss to the Senators, the lone run of the day for the Braves. Here's the first pitch to him, and a high strike called with the fastball, about letter high, 0-1. The Big Train wearing their home uniforms, the green uniforms with Big Train written across the chest, the green hats and the white pants. 0-1 pitch. Fleming pops one foul behind the plate, 0-2. The Braves wearing their red uniforms with white sleeves and gray pants. It's navy hats with red brims for the Braves. Gutierrez will look at first. 0-2 pitch. Change up just downstairs. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Fleming hitting just under 200 the early part of the summer as we get close to the halfway mark. 1-2. Line drive into right field. Twigo, the right fielder, ranges back, reaches high along the line to make the catch for out number 1.
Well, as much as we talk about the defense from Zeb Ruddle and Jeffrey Hurd, Dean Twigo, who doesn't start every day, has played an incredible right field for the Big Train this year.
An excellent catch. Got a great jump and along the line. It took every inch he had to reach high and make the grab. All 6'3" of Twigo. So with 1 away, the lefty catcher Halligan to the plate. The first pitch slider is called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Halligan headed to Houston Baptist this fall after spending the last 2 years for McLennan Community College in Waco, Texas. 0-1. Fastball just below the knees, even at a ball and a strike.
Gutierrez, a good 4-pitch mix. A couple of breaking balls as well, but coming out of high school, as for most pitchers, it's that fastball that he features. That's his go-to pitch. The velocity, not as high as some of these other Big Train pitchers.
Throw over and back safely on his feet is Coakley. 1 out, top of the first, no score between the Big Train and the Braves. Coakley takes a few step lead off of first. Gutierrez looks over, 1-1, and the slider spins away and out of the zone, 2 balls and a strike.
And that slider velo can reach about 4 to 5 miles per hour higher than that curveball. So you're going to see a heavy dose of that slider, but expect some changeups as well, as we saw already in some of the previous hitters.
2-1 pitch. There's another slider. This one front doors to Halligan. Catches the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gutierrez already ready on the bump as Halligan scrapes his cleats back into the dirt. He awaits a 2-2. Slider. Halligan loops one down the third baseline and foul out of play into the seats. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And looks like the gate over there is currently open, and Jack Guerrero, the third baseman, ran right through it and out of play. He returns to the field. Halligan leans the bat over his left shoulder, and a throw to first, and Coakley this time dives back to the base safely.
See if Gutierrez can induce a ground ball here. Try to get one to roll one over. Try to turn 2, get out of this first inning.
Look to first. Coakley goes, 2-2 pitch outside. Wargo's throw down to second is not in time. Coakley slides in safely. Rasmussen, the shortstop, tried to apply the tag, but a few steps late, and Coakley with a stolen base, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes to catcher Halligan. A runner in scoring position for the Braves in the top of the first after the leadoff walk to Coakley. As the Braves try and take an early lead. The top of the first. 3-2. Slider, and Halligan pops it foul down the third base line to stay alive. The count remains full.
And catcher Halligan, a really, really good hitter, 1 for 3 in that game. This is a guy who has caused problems all over the league for pitchers.
His 18 RBIs, second in the league behind the Big Train's Jeffrey Hurd. 3-2 pitch. Fastball is upstairs, ball 4. Second of the walk of the day issued by Gutierrez. And it puts runners at second and first with only 1 away for Quinn Madden, and a double play opportunity once again set up.
Yeah, Gutierrez already finds himself in a bit of trouble here. And this is similar to that start against Gaithersburg.
So Madden at the plate, the right-hander, waits on a first pitch, and he takes it just up and away, a ball and no strikes. Gutierrez asks his catcher, Clay Wargo, where it missed. He asks upstairs as he pushes his palm towards the sky, and Wargo nods his head. Yes, that's where it missed. So he checks back to second. 0-1-0. And the slider low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, if you think back to that last start against Gaithersburg, Gutierrez did get through the first facing the minimum because of a double play, but it was the second inning when he started to give up base runners, and it was the third when the wheels started to come off a little bit, now happening earlier in this game.
Look back to second. Coakley dances off the bag. 2-0. And a called strike to Quinn Madden on a slider inside, and our home plate umpire, Jerry Parks, tried to ring him up. And Madden is confused.
I think it might be something with a lot of umpires will keep, pitches and stuff like that and keep counts. So it's possible that wasn't updated from the previous hitter.
The count is 2 balls and a strike. As Madden now satisfied. Back in the box. 2-1. Swing and a miss. And a fastball, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Braves led 2-0 early in the ball game this evening in game 1 of 2. Trying to do the same in the second game tonight. 2-2 pitch. Slider. Hot shot to the left side. The shortstop, Rasmussen Fields, flips to the second baseman. Phelps for 1. His throwback to first gets away past the first baseman, Cunningham. It allows Coakley to round third and come in to score. And that's how the Braves lead 1-0 in the top of the first on a throwing error from second baseman Lucas Phelps.
Well, Game 1 was a very clean game for the Big Train. They did have the 1 error from Carter Cunningham, but when you're making errors in the first inning of a game, that's never a good sign.
So to the plate comes Travis Illich, and he's hit on the first pitch. Up and in, catches him on that right arm. And so runners at first and second once again, this time with 2 outs.
From Vienna, Virginia, number 30, J.T. Landwehr.
And J.T. Landwehr to the plate. Righty stands in. 0 for 3 in the game earlier. Runner on the move to third. The pitch low. The throw to third is past Guerrero, the third baseman, and into left field. Madden pops to his feet, rounds the bag, and comes in to score. A pair of errors for the Big Train, proving costly. Second error of the inning, and it's the second run across for the Braves. It's 2-0 as Illich moves over to second.
Yeah, and no hits in this inning either. So it's all been mistakes made by the Big Train.
Count a ball and no strikes to Landwehr with a runner in scoring position. With a teal bat resting on his right shoulder. 1-0. Fastball paints the zone at the knees, even at a ball and a strike. So the Big Train already with work to do when they come to bat for the first time in the bottom of the first. Down 2-0. In the top half of the first inning. Long hold from Gutierrez. And they call a pitch clock violation on Gutierrez.
Well, that's the first time we've seen that in any game this year.
And Sal Colangelo is marching out of the dugout towards the third base line to talk with Mike Reno, who was previously the home plate umpire, now mans third base. And I think the question is, from Sal Colangelo, is can you call a pitch clock violation? It exists in college baseball across all levels, but that does not necessarily apply to summer baseball.
This is going to be tough to figure out what the ruling is here.
And there is no pitch clock.
That's what I thought.
But Mike Reno is a guy who, as he tells Gutierrez to hurry things up.
That's great.
But in fairness, Mike Reno is a guy who probably umpires college baseball.
Yes.
And it is his job, if there is no pitch clock at the stadium, to keep track of that himself. And so that is his prerogative most of the year, just not in summer baseball. So the count's still a ball and a strike to JT Landwehr. 1-1. Swings and fouls one down the right field line. A ball and 2 strikes. A mistake from Mike Reno nonetheless, but one that gets sorted out. And no one with more knowledge about how the Cal Ripken League works than the only manager in the Hall of Fame, Sal Colangelo, for the big train. Gutierrez ready. 1-2 pitch. Slider, a little looper, right side, off the glove of the second baseman Phelps and into shallow right center field. It's a single for Landwehr. It allows Illich to come in to score from second. And it's 3-0. The lead for the Braves. A little looper that hit off the top of the glove of Phelps as he leaped in shallow right center. And once it trickled behind him, it was easy for a run to come in to score.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate because so close to being able to get out of this inning and limit it to just 2, and now things continue on.
So Jason Mendler to the plate. Lefty on lefty bat on the first pitch. Slider stays above the zone. A ball and no strikes. Mendler, a Christopher Newport product. Same school as Brandon Cassidy. A big train right-hander who went 5 scoreless last night. 1-0. And Mendler fouls one back to the screen. A ball and a strike. Gutierrez takes his hat off, readjusts, an inning that has shown some frustration. An inning that has gotten away just a bit from the big train, down 3-0 in the top of the first. 1-1. Mendler takes a slider in the dirt. It's 2 balls and a strike. Mendler without a hit in his last 4 games. 0 for 7. His last hit coming on June 12th, almost 3 weeks ago. 2-1 pitch. And he takes it right at the knees. The fastball from Gutierrez levels the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And again, 1 strike away from getting out of this top of the first. 2-2 pitch. And Mendler fouls it back to the screen. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Braves trying to pick up their first win against the big train this summer in a series they won last year 3-2 in 5 games. 2-2 pitch. Slider, swing and a miss. First strikeout of the day for Gutierrez gets him out of the inning. But 3 runs crossed for the Braves on 1 hit and 2 errors. It's the top of the lineup for the big train, due up in the bottom of the first. Phelps, Rasmussen, and Orr on the other side. Welcome back to the bottom of the first. 3-0 the Braves lead. Here's the big train lineup brought to you by Sal Colangelo. Lucas Phelps leads things off. It's Connor Rasmussen, the shortstop from Tulane, who hits second. Jacob Orr hits third, and Carter Cunningham hits cleanup. Ruffner bats fifth. Dean Twigo hits sixth. It's Jack Carrera on the seventh spot. Zeb Ruddle hit his first home run of the summer earlier this evening. Bats eighth, and Clay Wargo hits ninth. They face Alex Cross, the right-hander, on the mound for the Metro SoCo Braves. The Goldie Becom College product, making his second start of the summer, but fifth appearance. And first time facing the big train. So Phelps stands in. And the first pitch to him is downstairs in the dirt. A ball and no strikes. Big train trail 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Pair of errors aided the Braves in their effort to cross a trio of runners.
Just a really unfortunate inning. The walks, only one base hit, 2 errors. The throw by Wargo especially allowed a run to come in because it was on a stolen base attempt. And then oh so close on the catch for Phelps, or what could have been a catch for Phelps that ended up going off his glove.
As Jerry Parks breaks up the quick mound visit from Fleming, the catcher, who Cross called to the mound after just one pitch. Clearly not on the same page early. And Jerry Parks, our home plate umpire, says, let's get this game going, guys. The 1-0. And a fastball down below the knees to Phelps, and it skips off the shin guards of Fleming, the catcher, and rolls towards the big train dugout down the third base side. 2 balls and no strikes. Set on the mound, 2-0. And the slider well outside. Takes a stretch from Fleming to keep it in front. 3 balls and no strikes. And just like in the top of the first, the big train on an opportunity to get the leadoff man aboard. 3-0. Phelps takes inside with a fastball, ball 4. And it is a leadoff walk to the big train second baseman.
Now batting for the big train from Fort Mill, South Carolina, number 13.
So Connor Rasmussen to the plate. Came in as a defensive replacement in the top of the 7th to finish things off for the big train earlier this evening. Phelps with a nice 3-step lead off the bag. Couple looks from Cross. The pitch to Rasmussen. Outside with a fastball. A ball and no strikes. 5 straight balls from Cross to open his outing. And all of a sudden, he's asking for his catcher, Cole Fleming, again. And while they talk, we'll give you the Braves defense. From left to right in the outfield, right Madden Illich. Landwehr, the third baseman. Bruschiano, the shortstop. Coakley, the second baseman. Halligan at first. And it is Fleming, who you have heard plenty about early in this game, behind the plate. Clearly some late-night chaos at Shirley Povich Field.
What's interesting, too, Alex Cross, in only 2 of the previous 4 appearances, has he walked a hitter.
As he steps off and throws to first, and it barely gets to the first baseman, Halligan. Actually skips in front of him on just a lob, and it's early, but it does not appear Cross looks comfortable as Rasmussen stands back in. The 1-0. And finally a strike. Fastball on the outer edge of the plate. It's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Rasmussen with a double yesterday and a run scored in the win over the Grays. 1-1. Takes another fastball right back on the outside corner, and he's behind in the count, of ball and 2 strikes. Phelps is a threat to go with good speed as he creeps even further off the bag at first, and a throw over, this time with a little bit more velocity, and Phelps dives back safely. And Cross, another quick throw, and this time it's a little closer, but Halligan, the first baseman, drops the baseball.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough call there because Phelps was off that bag pretty far.
1-2 to Rasmussen in the fastball outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big Train got picked off last night, and it was Lucas Phelps who was the man picked off and avoided potentially the same fate. Nobody out, bottom of the first. 3-0 Big Train. And another throw over. Phelps just back in safely. Gets that right hand in and shakes the dirt off of his pants. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes that 2-2 pitch. And Rasmussen takes it well outside. The fastball, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cross leans in on the mound. A look over at first. He's set. 3-2. Rasmussen loops one high and foul down the third base line and onto the tennis courts. Down the third base line. Here at Cabin John Regional Park, it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. To the lefty shortstop from Tulane. Cross, a couple looks at Phelps. 3-2. Down and in, ball 4 with the changeup. And Rasmussen draws a walk. Back-to-back walks to begin the bottom of the first. And the Big Train have Jacob Orr up to the plate, the 3-hole hitter, who already represents the tying run, down 3-0.
Yeah, patience is the key right now for the Big Train. Not a lot of hittable pitches that have been thrown by Alex Cross. So if you stay patient, you're likely going to get some, pitches that miss off that plate.
As Orr waits on a first pitch, watch out, up and in. About eye level. And well inside, a ball and no strikes. Orr, the right-hander at the plate. Had a hit earlier this evening. 1-0. Squares to bunt. Pulls back on a slider. It skips in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. The Braves bullpen quiet for now, and as it should be in the bottom of the first, but Alex Cross with a lack of command early. 2-0 pitch. Orr squares. Bunts it out in front of the plate. Cross comes to field. Fires to first. In the dirt. Halligan cannot pick it. And Orr is able to reach safely on an error. And the bases are loaded for the Big Train in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Bethesda is just replicating right now what Metro Soko, the Braves, did in the top half of the inning. They just let the Big Train make the mistakes. They drew walks. They let the Big Train throw the ball around. And it worked for them, and guess what? Right now it's working for the Big Train.
So a third meeting at the mound. This time the entire infield convenes. And a pitching coach for the Braves out to chat with his right-hander. At third is Phelps. At second is Rasmussen. At first is Orr. Nobody out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and 14 pitches thrown, 10 of them balls right now. I mean, just not great stuff from Cross.
The Goldie Becom College product in Wilmington, Delaware. Originally for about the first 70 years, it was known as Wilmington Commercial College, with 731 undergrad. They go by the Lightning, with their mascot name Strike.
You have got a lot of memory when it comes to mascots.
I think it's always cool.
Now batting for the Big Train. From
I can't even tell you the mascots for some of the teams in my own conference.
Hey, the mascot's what's the face of the team. especially when it's a college that few probably have heard of.
No, it's good. It's good. It's not a criticism.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm just explaining. So, Carter Cunningham to the plate. With Phelps at third, Rasmussen at second, or at first, nobody out, down 3-0, but a chance to put up a crooked number. The corner's in for the Braves. And the first pitch from Cross. Cunningham fouls it back off the fist into the screen, 0-1. Cunningham, a guy who has fit right in with this Big Train team. Hitting well above 300 and an extra base machine. The tall lefty waits. 0-1. And it hits him on the lower part of his right leg. And a run comes in to score for the Big Train. That's how they get on the board. It's 3-1 Braves with the bases still loaded and still nobody out.
Yeah, something's not right now with Cross. The mixture of 2 really early quick visits with the catcher and another mound visit, and just with the command being this shaky, it's something's off with him right now. I hope it's not injury related or anything, but it's just unusual, the circumstances leading up to this as well.
Well, we saw Jesse Gutierrez struggle in the top of the first. It's Ruffner to the plate, and he takes a first pitch outside, and it's to the backstop. Here comes Rasmussen. He slides in safely, and the Big Train have cut into this lead. It's 3-2 Braves. In the bottom of the first, runners move to second and third. Still nobody out with the count of ball and no strikes to Ruffner. And there is a right-hander moving around in the Braves bullpen as the infield comes in. Big Train trying to win their 4th consecutive game over the Braves. 1-0. A half swing from Ruffner. A called strike on a slider on the outside part of the plate. It's a ball and a strike.
5 combined runs in an inning so far. 1 hit.
The Big Train without a hit. 1-1. Ruffner takes a slider outside in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. A long first inning. With Orr at third and Cunningham at second. Here's the 2-1. And Ruffner takes a fastball called a strike downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Dean Twigo stands on deck. Two on the way. Ruffner taps a slider softly down the third base line, but it rolls foul as the catcher Fleming picks it up. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Clouds still cover the sky in Bethesda. Had plenty of rain before our first game got started. Pushed us back about 90 minutes. 2-2 the count. On its way. Swing and a miss from Ruffner on a fastball high and inside. It's a strikeout. Gets out number 1 in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, found a little bit of command there with that fastball. That one not a strike, but good location up and into where Ruffner couldn't lay off it.
So Dean Twigo to the plate. Trying to drive in at least 1 to tie the game. First pitch to the lefty. High and wide with a fastball. Ball and no strikes. Twigo, a guy who plays about every other day. Played last night in the win. Had a double and a walk in 3 at-bats. One out. High and wide again with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. The The infield remains in for the Braves as Cross takes off his hat, readjusts, and settles back in on the mound. He stares in for a sign. Twygo stares right back at him. At the plate. 2-0. And a fastball called a strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 2 balls and a strike. Cross ready again. 2-1. And it's inside to Twygo, past the catcher Fleming. Here comes Orr, and he's in to score from third to tie the game. A second wild pitch for Cross allows a run to score. It's 3-3 in the bottom of the first, and we have a brand new ball game with Carter Cunningham standing at third.
That's back-to-back runs scored on a wild pitch.
Count 3 balls and a strike to Twygo. Big Train without a hit. They've reached via 2 walks, an error, and 1 hit by pitch. Just 1 out. 3-1 on its way, and Twygo takes low and inside, ball 4. Third walk of the inning for Cross, and it brings Jack Guerrero to the plate with runners at the corners. And only 1 down.
To the Big Train from River Edge, New Jersey, number 38.
The hope is that they can get Cross through this inning before they do anything with the bullpen, but I mean the command just not there. 17 balls and 27 total pitches right now.
First pitch to Guerrero, and it's a fastball over the middle, and he's late on it. Fouls it over the third base seats the other way. 0-1 the count. Alex Cross, just 5 walks issued so far this season. Already has 3 through 1/3 of an inning. 0-1. Guerrero takes low and inside with a fastball, even at a ball and a strike. He's coming off his best appearance of the summer. 2 scoreless innings against the Crop Dusters 5 days ago. Allowed just 1 hit, had 1 strikeout.
Not an easy team to do that against.
As the 1-1 downstairs, off for second goes Twygo, and they throw to third, and they have Cunningham off the bag. The catcher Fleming chases him back, feeds to the shortstop Labrusciano. Cunningham tries to avoid the tag, but the shortstop applies it at the chest. And that is out number 2, and a huge break for the Braves. He thought Fleming might throw down to second and was creeping far off the bag at third. And the catcher threw behind him to get him for out number 2.
Yeah, just a little too eager right there. And huge for the Braves, especially for Cross, who has struggled to even get the Big Train to put anything in play.
So Guerrero moves over to third, or Twygo that is, as Guerrero at the plate takes ball 3 outside on a 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike with 2 down. Big Train have put 1 baseball in play this inning. It was a bunt from Jacob Orr that he reached on an error. 3-1. Guerrero swings away and fouls one back to run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A long first inning for both of these pitchers. They have been taxed early, and it could turn into a bullpen game. 3-2. Outside ball 4. 4th walk of the inning. Guerrero able to reach, and Zeb Ruddle, our player of the game from game 1, comes to the plate with runners at the corners and 2 down.
Now batting for the Big Train from Monroe, Louisiana, number 14, Zeb Ruddle.
And meeting on the mound is going to do it for Alex Cross. So 4 walks and 3 runs allowed, ends his night, works just 2/3 of an inning. New pitcher on the way. We'll be right back from Shirley Povich Field. Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field. Still in the bottom of the first, runners at the corners with 2 away in a 3-3 game. Alex Cross makes it through 2/3 of an inning. Doesn't allow a hit, but 4 walks and already 3 runs across. As Zeb Ruddle comes to the plate.
Yeah, you like to see Zeb continue from what he did in that first game. He was sitting on breaking balls in game 1, so we'll see what he does here today.
First pitch, fastball, and it's called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Ruddle takes all the way. Twigo at third, Guerrero at first. Both reached via the walk. 2 down, bottom of the first. Big Train trying to take their first lead, 0-1. Ruddle takes a called strike. Off for second goes Guerrero. No throw from Fleming, just a pump fake and a stolen base from Jack Guerrero. Puts runners at second and third. Count 0-2 to Ruddle. Salisbury set on the mound. 0-2 pitch. Just downstairs with a changeup, a ball and 2 strikes. And we'll hear from Zeb Ruddle after this half inning as Kaylee Tallman, our on-field reporter, caught up with him. 1-2. Ruddle hits a high fly ball into center. The center fielder Madden drifts back. Still moving on his way back and in front of the track. He makes the catch to end the inning. 3 runs on no hits, 1 error, and 2 left. We head to the top of the second, and let's hear from Zeb Ruddle. Top of the second. 3-3 our score. Gutierrez back to the mound. And he fires a first pitch strike in on a changeup to Matthew Wright. 8-9-1, 2 up for the Braves in the second. 0-1 pitch and a slider dribbles foul down the third base line. 0-2 and Gutierrez ahead. Trying to settle in after a bumpy, turbulent top of the first. Oh, 2 pitch. And it called strike 3. A slider on the outside corner rings him up for out number 1. Back-to-back strikeouts for Gutierrez. His second of the evening, and there's one away.
And he just freezes right in his first at-bat between the two games. And with it being a brand new ball game here, Gutierrez can experiment a little bit with some of those pitches. Doesn't have to focus on getting outs as much as he did last inning when the bases were loaded.
The first pitch to A.J. Labrusciano outside with a fastball. A ball and no strikes. 1-0. And that fastball rifles into the inside corner. Even out 1-1. Just one earned run allowed by Gutierrez in that top of the first is the 1-1 outside. 2 balls and a strike. Couple errors helped. The Braves score is a 2-1 swing and a miss from Labrusciano, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gutierrez, chance for 3 straight strikeouts, 2-2. Labrusciano taps one softly left side. The shortstop Rasmussen comes into field, throws to first. It's in the dirt, skips off the glove of Cunningham, and allows Labrusciano to reach. Rasmussen just not enough time on the slow roller. They mark it a hit. It's a 1-out knock, and back to the top for Jeff Coakley. Coakley walked and scored in the top of the first. Big Train trying to win their 4th straight game. It's the first pitch in. A fastball called a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Gutierrez hunting ground ball. Double play could get him out of the inning. 0-1 pitch. Changeup dips below the knees, a ball and a strike.
He's only had 1 ground ball in this game. It was that fielder's choice hit by Quinn Madden in the first. But like you said, he'd love one here.
Almost turned into a double play. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Coakley well late on the fastball inside. 0-1. 1-2. There's the 1-2 pitch. High fastball taken above the letters. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the second, 3-3 with 1 out and a runner at first. Gutierrez ready. The 2-2. Slider paints it on the outside corner, and Coakley goes down looking. A strikeout for Gutierrez, his 3rd of the night, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, he's got the command back with that slider, and what's impressive is that he's been able to do it to both lefties and righties over this inning.
So Cole Fleming to the plate with 2 down and a runner at first. And a throw over to the bag, and back safely dives A.J. Labrusciano. First pitch home. And Fleming takes a hearty cut and just taps it into the glove of the catcher, Wargo. No balls and a strike. Southpaw set on the mound. 0-1, swing and a miss. Changeup pulls the string, 0-2. One pitch away from ending the inning, 0-2. And that changeup low and outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Off of first leads Labrusciano. A 1-2 home. A slow roller back to the screen, and Fleming stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes.
He went breaking ball there, so he has the option if he wanted to go with a fastball maybe high and away. However, hitters have not chased that pitch as much today.
On a 1-2. High and away with a fastball. There it is. No chase from Fleming. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It makes sense still going to that pitch, though. You know, you have the opportunity. You just worked in, so it opens up that part of the zone.
Could set up a slider away. 2-2, runner on the move. Change up in the dirt. Wargo throw down to second. It's there in time. It's perfect. And they got him. Labrusciano caught stealing, and Clay Wargo continues to cause runners problems on the base paths. On to the bottom of the second. 3-3 our score. Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field for the bottom of the second. 9-1-2 due up for the big train. Wargo to lead things off. It's 3-3. As Danny Salisbury returns to the mound. Got the final out of the top of the first. As he winds and deals, and a first pitch breaking ball skips about 5 feet in front of home plate. A ball and no strikes. Wargo, the catcher from Louisiana, 1-0. Takes a fastball at the top of the zone, called a strike, even at 1-1. There's the 1-1 pitch. He pops it foul down the first base side and off the top of the netting. A ball and 2 strikes as he falls behind. Comes off his first multi-hit game of the summer against the Senators on Wednesday. 1-2, changeup up and in, and even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also had his first stolen base. 2-2. Swings and jams one to the left side. The shortstop, Labrusciano, fields above his shoot tops and flips over to first in time for out number 1.
Now batting for the Big Train, a sophomore at Florida Atlantic University.
Big Train still looking for their first hit as Lucas Phelps turns to the plate. A leadoff walk got things started and would come around to score for the Big Train in the bottom of the first. That was against Alex Cross, the starter, as he swings at the first pitch, rolls it softly to third. Land where the third baseman fields, sets his feet and fires in time, 2 away.
Now batting for the Big Train, a sophomore at Tulane University, number 13,
Connor Rasmussen back to the plate. He walked and scored in the first.
That's going to be a common thing you're going to say this time through the lineup.
4 walks, 3 runs for the Big Train. Salisbury deals, and Rasmussen takes a strike at the knees. Fastball, not the most velocity we've seen this summer, but Salisbury, good location on the pitch. As he winds and deals an 0-1. Rasmussen squares the bunt, puts it down the third base line, and the catcher Fleming picks it up just foul. It didn't go much further than the third base batter's box. A right-hander's hit. And Fleming with a good smile on his face. It's the play, you just want to get it in fair territory because it can be an easy play after that.
Salisbury does have Rasmussen 0-2 here, though, so that is the one positive, is he's got the opportunity to maybe waste a few pitches and try to get Connor to swing at something ugly.
Here comes the 0-2, and Rasmussen swings away and loops one down the left field line. Long run for the left fielder right, over to the line, and he makes the catch on the move in the corner to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Big Train on to inning number 3. It's 3-3. Top of the third, and 3-3 our score. As Cole Fleming gets a second chance to face Gutierrez after he lined out to right in his first. As takes a first pitch changeup downstairs, a ball and no strikes, and then had his second at-bat interrupted as Labrusciano caught stealing to end the inning. 1-0 fastball, down in the dirt again, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-3-4, 2 up for the Braves, looking to snap their 6-game losing streak. 2-0 pitch, and a fastball rifles in at the knees. It's 2 balls and a strike. Gutierrez solid in the second, 2-1, And Fleming hits one high and foul down the first base side and well out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gutierrez stares in for the side. Rocks the windup. 2-2. A fastball just outside to the right-handed hitter. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch for Gutierrez, who has issued 2 walks today. On 3-2, a little looper into shallow right. Out goes the second baseman, Phelps, and he reaches up to make the catch on the move. The right fielder, Dean Twigo, was in a hurry on his way in, but it's the infielder who makes the grab for out number 1.
That's the play that kind of makes you hold your breath. Make sure that Twigo and Phelps don't run into each other because both of them running at full speed. But Phelps, a little redemption there from that first inning when he tried to make a great play and it just went right off the end of his glove.
The lone hit of that first inning for the Braves is a slider just inside for a ball to catcher Halligan. Who heads from McLennan Community College to Houston Baptist. Lines a fly ball into left field on the 1-0, and in comes Orr, the left fielder, to make the catch on the move for out number 2.
A junior at James Madison University, number 1.
So 2 quick outs and Quinn Madden to the plate with 2 away. Another guy switching schools, headed into his senior season. Pitch to the righty. Just outside. Wargo, the catcher, tries to frame, but our home plate umpire, Jerry Parks, not fooled. Ball and no strikes with the fastball. And the 1-0. And Madden swings away and fouls it straight back, a ball and a strike. Madden in his 3rd summer playing for the Braves. In his first 2 years, they were known as South County. Now they're Metro South County. It's the 1-1 inside with a slider, 2 balls and a strike.
If you would like the full history of that team, feel free to email our assistant GM, Patrick Chapman, because he's been here for 8 years and has seen every little change in the team name and location.
2-1 pitch. Madden pops it up. Foul, out of play down the first base line over the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, they started as the Herndon Braves.
Yes.
And then they have since made a couple changes to the name, but always stuck with Braves. 2-2. Slider, and Madden fouls it straight back. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. They have moved around a couple different homes, but they've settled in Lorton as the Metro SoCo Braves. 1 point, the FCA Herndon Braves. 2-2. Slider outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Never made it to the championship series, but have played in the semifinals back in 2015. 3-2. Madden taps it softly down the third baseline and foul, and the count remains full. Faced the Big Train, lost in 2 games to one of the league's best teams. Last year they made it to the semifinals as well and lost to the Aces in 2 games. 3-2. Madden stays alive as he fouls another one back and out of play. Count still full. But they have made the postseason the last 4 years after missing for a 4-year stretch from 2011 to 2014. 3-2. Swing and a miss. The changeup outside gets Madden to go down. So 1-2-3 inning for Gutierrez. Bottom of the 3rd on the way. 3-3 our score. Bottom of the third, 3-3 our score, and Jacob Orr to the plate to face Salisbury. And he swings at the first pitch and pops it up on the infield. Left side, the third baseman Landwehr calls for it and reaches to his left at the last second to make the catch about belt high for out number one. One pitch, one away. Salisbury, since he entered in the bottom of the first, has retired 5 straight to begin his outing, and Carter Cunningham to the plate, the cleanup man, who was hit by a pitch which got him an RBI back in the first. The first pitch into him, and a fastball floats in at the top of the zone for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, and Cunningham fouls it off down the third base side, out of play above the seats, 0-2. Big Train still without a base hit. 0-2 pitch, down in the dirt with a fastball, a ball and 2 strikes. They have walked 4 times, hit by a pitch once, and Jacob Orr reached on an error back in inning number 1. 1-2. Cunningham takes a fastball just above the letters. Called a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tall lefty first baseman waits on a 2-2, low and inside. He dances out of the way, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham, an RBI single in the first game tonight, and had an RBI knock last night as well. 3 straight games with an RBI for the uber-talented ECU Pirate. Three-two pitch. Golfs one from down below the knees, pops it up on the third base line. Long run for the third baseman. Landwehr in foul territory, goes into a slide on his way back and cannot make the catch. It lands at his feet. And so Cunningham returns to the plate with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham, a guy who at ECU with his 3rd different college, started with Gardner-Webb in the shortened 2020 season. 3-2, swing and a miss at the changeup. He goes down on strikes for out number 2, then went to Florida Southwestern State before heading over to ECU. It was pre-transfer portal days, so he had to sit out a year before he could play for ECU. However, you can go down to the junior college ranks and play as Ruffner takes a fastball downstairs in the dirt. Ball and no strikes. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Change up, and Ruffner well out in front. It's a ball and a strike the count. One pitch. And it skips in the dirt outside. 2 balls and a strike. Two one. Sharp grounder to the left side. The shortstop Labrusciano fields. Rifles to first in time to get Ruffner out number 3. 7 up, 7 down for Salisbury. On to the 4th. 3-3 our score.
Batting a sophomore at Georgetown
To inning
University,
number 4 we go.
Travis Illich.
3-3 our score. Travis Illich to lead off the top of the 4th. Facing a new pitcher, Austin Morris, on the mound. Right-hander with that crimson glove in front of his face. Deals the first pitch and a swing and a miss at a hard fastball in the outside corner. No balls and a strike. Morris has been excellent as his catcher Clay Wargo heads out to chat with him. 1.92 ERA in 4 games pitched. 9 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts. Does have 7 walks, but has only allowed 2 earned runs.
Yeah, and that was in that game against the Senators. But again, during that 11-game stretch, a lot of these relievers, high pitch counts, high number of innings, and it was just unfortunate for him because they needed him to stay out there.
Pitched 4 2/3 innings and didn't allow a run until that 5th inning of work. He winds and deals an 0-1. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner. Perfect pitch, 0-2. And then he went down to the Ripken Classic. Played the Sun Belt League in that exhibition showcase. 0-2. Swing and a miss. High fastball up and away. And it's a strikeout to begin the day for Morris. 1 down. Part of that classic team that went down to Lynchburg, Virginia, and threw 2 innings, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and no runs allowed. It's JT Landwehr to the plate. One of 2 Braves with a hit on the evening. First pitch to him, and a slider spins away outside. Ball and no strikes. We've seen plenty of colorful bats in the Cal Ripken League. They use wood. Landwehr with a teal bat.
I think it's a first for us.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen teal so far this summer. 1-0. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, a ball and a strike. Has red tape down the handle and plenty of pine tar in between the tape and the barrel. As he holds it over his right shoulder. 1-1. Lines it into center field. Ruddle, the center fielder, takes a few steps back and makes the catch. 2 down.
And nicely done by Ruddle. Perfect placement, too. A really hard hit ball from Landwehr. But Ruddle having a good couple of games, and he's continuing to keep that defense up.
Yeah, the defense has been fantastic for the rising sophomore from LSU. As Jason Mendler to the plate. Designated hitter. Finished off the first inning. As he takes the first pitch downstairs with a fastball. A ball and no strikes. Designated hitter from Christopher Newport.
This is Brandon Cassidy's teammate.
1-0. Downstairs again. 2 balls and no strikes. The right-hander for the Big Train, who got the start last night in the win over the Grays and was fantastic. As he's been all season. No earned runs allowed yet in 4 starts for the right-hander. 2-0. And a foul ball off the glove of Wargo. It's 2 balls and a strike to Mendler.
And if you weren't with us for Game 1, our on-field reporter, Kaylee Tallman, caught up with Brandon Cassidy prior to first pitch earlier, so I suggest you go back and rewatch the intro to that game and hear what Cassidy had to say about his start.
It's the 2-1 downstairs with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. One of the nicest guys on the team.
Yes.
Interesting guy as well. Go take a listen. One of the few lower level players on the Big Train, but fantastic. And those are the guys they bring from lower levels of college baseball. Is the 3-1 low and inside, and it hits Mendler on the foot. Would have been ball 4 anyway, but he gets the base on a hit by pitch with 2 outs. And it brings Matthew Wright to the plate.
Now batting a sophomore at Virginia Military Institute, number 16, Matthew Wright.
From VMI, Virginia Military Institute. So Morris works from the stretch for the first time. After Gutierrez goes 3 innings and allows just 1 earned run, but 3 runs cross in the first inning. As Morris Aswargo for the signs again. First pitch home. To right, and he rifles in a fastball for a strike. VMI, Matthew Wright School, 183 years old. 0-1. Takes a slider off the outside, a ball and a strike in Lexington, Virginia. 183 years old. 1839 is when the school was opened.
Yeah, got a couple of years on us.
Yeah, just a few. I remember its early years. 1-1. And the slider this time spins too far inside. It's 2 balls and a strike. Morris set on the mound. 2-1. Fastball misses away. It's 3 balls and a strike.
And Morris losing command of both the slider and the fastball right now. So if I'm right, maybe sit on a fastball here and see if you get a good pitch.
Can look for his pitch in his spot. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Got the fastball. Comes up empty. 3 balls and 2 strikes. VMI with some interesting athletic success. Made the Final Four in men's basketball back in 1976. Runner first, 2 down, 3-2 count. And a tie game at 3-3, the 3-2, and Wright pops it foul and stays alive. Count remains full. Morris set. Long hold. 3-2 again. And Wright fouls one down the right field line and out of play. Stays 3 balls and 2 strikes. Morris, look over to first. Another 3-2. Runner on the move. Swing and a miss. Wright goes down on the strikeout, and the inning is over. 2 strikeouts for Morris. Leaves 1 on base. On to the bottom of the 4th. It's Twigo, Guerrero, and Ruddle due up for the big train. Bottom of the 4th, and Dean Twigo leads things off. Danny Salisbury back to the mound. Has retired 7 straight since he entered in a 3-3 game. First pitch home, and the fastball well outside, a ball and no strikes. Each team scored 3 in the first, and scoreless ever since in this 7-inning game. 1-0. And Twigo launches a pitch into right center field. Illich, the right fielder, drifts back and deep in the gap. He makes the catch for out number 1.
And that's how many times now in the last 4 games, Dean Twygo's hit a ball hard that just can't find some outfield grass.
It has been a lot. He has squared up the baseball. And sometimes the average, especially as of late, is not indicative of how well a guy's swinging the bat. And that's the case with Dean Twygo. As Jack Guerrero comes to the plate, a walk in the first, was stranded at second. Salisbury deals. First pitch called a strike on the outer edge. 0-1 with the changeup. A 1. And Guerrero fouls it back. 0-2 the count. Another heavy dose of the changeup to Guerrero. Has been a Salisbury favorite pitch so far. 0-2, and Guerrero pops one foul down the third base line and out of play into the seats. It stays no balls and 2 strikes. Salisbury great with that off-speed pitch. 0-2. Guerrero rolls one. It hits Salisbury. The third baseman Landwehr fields. Throw to first. It's past the first baseman Halligan and down the right field line. Off for second goes Guerrero. He takes a big turn. Thinks about third. The ball goes away from the third baseman Landwehr. And Guerrero moves up again.
What in the world is going on right now?
There was nobody covering third base, and the first baseman Halligan just launched it. And now the umpires discuss because the ball went out of play, and the question is, does Guerrero get home? It's the first hit of the day for the big train. Comes in the bottom of the 4th with already 3 runs across. And they say he does! It's not midnight, but it's midnight madness at Shirley Povich Field. As we head late into the evening, and Guerrero with a Little League home run. And the big train take their first lead of the day. It's 4-3.
Yeah, there's going to be an argument here. I don't have the angle in my spot here in the box doing all the production stuff to see it, but I think there at least needs to be an explanation as to why Guerrero came home.
And that is an interesting point as the Braves try and argue it, because he only took third once the throw ranged down the third base line, which is the base that they're arguing he was awarded. However, if it went out of play and he was already at third base, then he does get awarded home. And they talk about that right now. Our third base umpire, Mike Reno, discussed with the other 2, Jerry Parks and Dave Stewart.
I think the question is Guerrero with the throw was going from second to third. It wasn't like he had already hit third and was rounding to try to come home. I think that's where the argument comes from, it's questioning why he was awarded home when by the time that ball had gotten out of play, Guerrero was just getting to third.
And that's exactly the argument Mike Reno is hearing as the infield convenes around second base. Danny Salisbury, the pitcher, who has been excellent. Just his first hit allowed. It kicks off his heel, bounces towards the third baseman Landwehr, and then that's when
error, out of play.
I mean, bad news bears are the vibes.
Yes.
That just
the
gave.
Throw from first to third is the one that's really puzzling.
There was nobody at third base. And no one anywhere close to third base. And Halligan just threw the ball to nobody. And the call's going to stay on the field. It's 4-3 Big Train. This whole game has given some bad news bears type of
We have 5 combined errors
results.
now.
5 combined errors, 3 hits, 7 total runs. But the 7 runs have come on only 2 hits. So Zeb Ruddle to the plate. And the Big Train in front. First pitch to him, and he swings and misses at a changeup, 0-1. Riddle tried to hit his second home run of the night. Comes up empty, down 0-1 in the count. Salisbury back to work, 0-1 pitch. Fastball floats high, a ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ruddle pops it up behind home plate and out of play. Ball and 2 strikes, the count with 1 down. In the bottom of the 4th. Salisbury, long wait on the mound. Now he has the sign he likes. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ruddle strikes out, and there's 2 away. So Clay Wargo to the plate.
From Louisiana Lafayette, number 46, Clay Wargo.
Ground out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. For a guy who joined the big train a little late after Louisiana made the NCAA tournament, as he takes a strike, 0-1. It's Louisiana Lafayette, not LSU, which won the national title.
Yeah, Zeb's got to be very happy.
Yeah, Zeb does. Didn't join them in Omaha as the changeup inside called a strike, 0-2, but we'll get a ring. He's part of the team when the time comes next spring. Team that was #1 in the preseason, and they finished #1 in the polls. 0-2 pitch, a called strike 3. Down goes Wargo, and the inning comes to an end. Well, we have chaos at Shirley Povich Field. A Little League home run puts the big train in front. It's 4-3 on to the 5th. Top of the 5th, and the big train 9 outs away from a 4th consecutive victory. 4-3 the score, and Labrusciano leads off top of the 5th. Austin Morris returns to the mound. The right-hander winds and deals, and a first pitch fastball spins upstairs, a ball in, no strikes. Morris with 2 strikeouts in his first inning of work. 1-0. Fastball ranges up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. In line for the win if the big train can hold the lead after Jack Guerrero singled and then came all the way around to score 2-0. Inside again with a fastball. 3 balls and no strikes in the same play. 2 errors by the Braves. 1 on a throw to first from the third baseman Landor, and then Halligan, the first baseman, threw it to, well, who knows? There was nobody at third base, and he threw it anyway, and the ball rolled through a gate and went out of play, and Guerrero came around to score. It's about the way tonight's game has gone. 3-0. Inside, ball 4 to Labrusciano, and the leadoff man aboard represents the tying run at first base for the leadoff man in the lineup, Jeff Coakley. Coakley 0 for 1, did walk and score back in the first. And then let's see if Labrusciano tries to steal on Wargo again. Thrown out back in the second to end the inning. As a 2-step lead off the bag. First pitch to Coakley, squares the bunt and bunts the slider sharply foul towards the on-deck spot down the first base line where Cole Fleming, catcher for the Braves, waits on deck. 0-1 the count. Morris leans in, one of 3 Alabama pitchers on this Big Train staff. Redshirted this past spring for a really good Alabama team. 0-1. Slider spins into the zone. Ahead 0-2. Coakley showed bunt, pulled it back, and took it for a strike. And Alabama with a new head coach. Just hired Maryland's head coach away. A really good team in Maryland as well. 0-2. Slider in the dirt outside. Wargo with an excellent block. Gets a shoulder on it, keeps it within arm's reach, and Labrusciano smart to stay at first. It's a ball and 2 strikes. So Rob Vaughns heads from College Park, Maryland to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where he will lead Austin Morris and the Crimson Tide next season. 1-2 pitch. Slider just outside. Jerry Parks, the home plate umpire, motions with that right hand.
It was a beautiful pitch, though.
And a really nice take from Coakley on a competitive pitch from Morris. He comes set. Lowers that crimson glove to the belt. 2-2. Another slider, this one well outside. Coakley holds the swing up. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tying run at first in the top of the 5th in a 7-inning game. 4-3, the Big Train's lead with nobody out. Coakley waits. 3-2, runner goes, swing and a miss upstairs, throw down to second, it's there again, and Wargo gets him again.
Well, talk about making up for that throwing error earlier, Eli.
Unbelievable. Strike him out, throw him out, and the Sheriff still runs Bethesda. Clay Wargo in his 2nd season, not willing to give up control just yet. Catching base runners all summer long as Cole Fleming back to the plate. First pitch in, slider called to strike, 0-1. At what point do you just have to stop?
Twice today.
0-1 pitch, a slider swing and a miss, 0-2. Twice today, and frankly, all summer long, Clay Wargo throws guys out. It's just one throw after another on the money. So 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Morris has one he likes. Wheels and deals in 0-2. And Fleming just stays alive as he lines one back to the screen.
Yeah, Clay came in today compared to all the other catchers, the highest fielding percentage. That number's going to fluctuate a little bit with the error.
0-2, swing and a miss. Fleming strikes out and the inning comes to an end. Wargo does what he does best, throws out a base runner. Morris does what he does well, strikes out 2. Bottom of the 5th. It's 4-3 Big Train. Bottom of the 5th, and Lucas Phelps leads things off. Top third of the order for the Big Train. Up 4-3 and looking for some insurance. Righty on righty matchup as Salisbury returns to the mound. And the first pitch home, Phelps hits it sharply down the third base line. Into a slide, the third baseman Landwehr fields into his feet, his throw in time to first, one away, and a really nice play at the hot corner.
Yeah, good stuff from him. It's a tough play with the backhand, especially with Phelps, who can run, and to make a strong throw as well. Just impressive stuff for Landwehr.
So one pitch, one away. Salisbury has only allowed one base runner tonight, but it was the single from Guerrero, and he came around to score on a Little League home run. Pair of errors on the play as Connor Rasmussen stands in. First pitch, he swings and foul tips one into the glove of Fleming. 0-1 the count. Rasmussen a walk and a flyout in 2 at-bats as the 0-1 changeup skips in front of the plate. A ball and a strike. That changeup is about as slow as you will see a changeup at the college level. From Salisbury. Just floats in there, but it has had Big Train hitters off balance. Is the 1-1 right back to it. And it's downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Rasmussen waits the 2-1, and the fastball skips in as well. 3 balls and a strike for the future Tulane Green Wave.
Yeah, coming out of high school, that changeup only touched about 70 miles an hour. So it's definitely a quite the difference from that fastball.
3-1, and Rasmussen swings away and fouls one back off the screen. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Clouds have cleared above Shirley Povich Field, although the sun is completely gone and the lights illuminate the green grass. 3-2, upstairs with a fastball, ball 4. And Jacob Orr comes to the plate with 1 away and a runner at first.
Well, hits have just not been the Big Train's thing in this game, but outside of that first inning, base runners in general, they've struggled with. So that's a big walk for Rasmussen.
First pitch into Orr, and he takes a fastball in for a strike, 0-1. Just 1 hit for the Big Train, but their 4-3 lead stands in the bottom of the 5th. Scored 3 in the first without a hit. Pair of walks and a couple errors. throw back to first, and in safely goes Rasmussen. Salisbury set at the belt. Rasmussen starts, then stop, or swings away at the 0-1, grounds it to third. Landwehr throws to second. It's off the bag as Coakley. Throwback to first is in time to get Orr, so it goes 5-4-3 around the diamond, but an error on the third baseman allows Rasmussen to make it into second base safely.
Sophomore at East Carolina University, number 33, Dixon Williams.
Fourth error of the day for the Braves. And just one of the stranger plays you will see. 5-4-3, but not a double play, just for the one out. Dixon Williams pinch hit for Carter Cunningham. 2 down and a runner at second. Takes a first pitch fastball outside, a ball and no strikes. Williams, ECU Pirate, teammates with Connor Rasmussen. During the rain delay, they were talking about skiing. All the good places to do it. There's a throwback to second, and it goes wide of the shortstop, Labrusciano, and he has to range off the second base bag to catch it. Rasmussen dives in safely. But both Rasmussen and Williams enjoy skiing. 1-0. Williams hits a fly ball into left field. Back goes the left fielder right. Spins in towards the corner. And in front of the warning track makes the catch for out number 3. Big Train Strand, a man in scoring position. On to the 6th inning. It's 4-3 Big Train on the Big Train Baseball Network. Want to know the count? And the first pitch home, or second pitch home, make it 2 balls and no strikes on a fastball downstairs. Halligan had a 4-hit game 2 days ago for the Braves. So he rolls the 2-0 on the ground to the right side. The first baseman, Williams, fields, and he races it to the bag in time to beat Halligan 1 away.
And these 2 games are really crucial for the Big Train, especially if they can wrap up a win here. We got the Aces tomorrow. That's a team that's caused everybody problems. We handled them very well the last time we were down there, but we saw what they did the previous time, and we really need a win against them.
As Madden to the plate, takes a first pitch slider right on the outside corner, called a strike, 0-1. The Aces with the best record in the Cal Ripken League. They didn't play today. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2 as Madden comes up empty. It was supposed to be a matchup between the 2 hottest teams in the league.
Yes.
The T-Bolts, winners of 5 straight, and the Aces, winner of 8 in a row, 0-2. And that's at a well outside. A ball and 2 strikes with 1 away. Big Train lead their division, 15-5, the Big Train record in the North. Crop Dusters a game and a half behind, but it could be 2 games by the end of the night. However, the Big Train would be 2 games more played than the Crop Dusters.
Crop Dusters were supposed to play tonight, but
it's the 1-2, a fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Dixon Williams, the first baseman, out of play. So stays a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the Crop Dusters were supposed to play, but we mentioned it the last time when we were up in Olney, which was a while ago if you don't remember, but they do not have lights at that field. So those games always start at 5 p.m., and if it gets too dark, the game's suspended.
1-2. Swinging a foul ball down the first base line, and right about at 4:30 p.m., the sky opened up.
Yes.
And it rained for about an hour and a half. So they never got their game in tonight. So they're 13-6, game and a half back. Losers of 2 straight. 1-2. Well high with the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But the Aces 15-2. The best record in the league by a sizable margin at the moment.
I can't remember who their other loss was. It wasn't the Crop Dusters.
Crop
It was the
Dusters
Crop
is
Dusters.
who they lost
yes.
to. They'll play the Big Train 3 more times. 2-2. Swing and a miss. High and tight with the fastball. But Madden goes around. Wargo has the ball hit out of his glove. It rolls down the first baseline. And Madden able to beat it out.
What in the world? Because that looked like, and there goes another baseball. And yeah, Sal Colangelo is going to come out and talk. Something happened that we clearly didn't see, because that was swung on and missed, and all of a sudden this ball is halfway to first base.
Somehow it popped out of the glove of Wargo. And so Madden aboard. Sal Colangelo not happy. It just has been one of those games. I mean, they're just those games. And there's not much more you can use to describe it. Just a wonky play here and a wonky play there and a wonky play everywhere.
And it is 5 strikeouts now for Austin Morris, though.
But the tying run aboard in the top of the 6th as Illich to the plate. And Madden at first with decent speed, 7 stolen bases on the year. But he has an almost non-existent lead at the bag. So he extends it a step. First pitch home, and the fastball just off the outside. A ball and no strikes. You imagine that he will be cautious with.
This ball was swung on and missed, going back to the drop third strike.
1-0. Outside with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes.
Clay Wargo completely missed it. I think he might have get crossed up, and the ball hit off of the home plate umpire and kicked all the way to first.
And once Wargo figured out where the ball rolled, it was well too late. 2-0. Illich takes low and away with a fastball. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, this could be trouble for the Big Train. Up 4-3 in the top of the 6th. 5 outs away from a win. 3-0. High fastball. Upstairs, ball 4. And the tying run moves into scoring position on the walk. And JT Landwehr to the plate. The go-ahead run at first.
30, JT Landwehr.
So at second is Madden. At first is Illich. Morris deals. And it is off of Largo, and it rolls towards the first base dugout. It's out of play.
Yeah, something's happening here with Wargo and Morris. They are not on the same page.
And the big train lucky that they didn't send the runner home, because the runners had already moved up by the time that ball rolls into the dugout. And it is almost the same situation as previous, when the big train took the lead, but runners at second and third with one down. And the top of the sixth, and Wargo just never saw the fastball coming. Infield in. Morris from the windup. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider. Just misses outside, a ball and a strike. One. That slider outside, 2 balls and a strike.
In both situations, Clay Wargo, when he tried to catch that ball behind home plate, was leaning to his right with a ball that was going in. So there is definitely a mix-up right now between Morris and Wargo.
2-1. And a fastball paints the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And about as big of a strikeout situation as one can have. JT Landwehr at the plate. With the tying run at third and 1 down. 2-2. Fastball just outside. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Set again is Morris. A 3-2 pitch. Landwehr lifts it down the right field line and foul into the Braves bullpen. And we do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. At third is Madden. At second is Illich. Big train up 1, 3-2. Inside ball 4. Second walk issued in a row by Morris, and the bases are loaded for Jason Mendler. And Craig Lopez is set to head out to the mound to chat with his right-hander. As the infield convenes on the bump. And if you think this game couldn't get any more strange, we still have plenty of baseball left to go.
We will put the card away with all of Homer's presents in his doghouse. Thanks for celebrating Homer's birthday here at Shirley Hovey Field with Bethesda Big Train Baseball.
Once the clock rolls past, about 10 p.m.?
Yes.
Things get a little bit weird at Shirley Povich Field. And that is the end of the day for Austin Morris. So we take a break while Max Martzoff, the new pitcher, gets warm. 4-3, the big train lead with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Be right back. Max Martzoff, the new pitcher for the Big Train in the top of the 6th. 1 out and the bases loaded. Big Train up 4-3 over the Braves. Martzoff, 3.17 ERA in 5 games pitched. 18 strikeouts and 11 in the 3rd innings, but he has worked 6 1/3 straight scoreless innings over his last 2 appearances. And he gets set to face a pinch hitter. And Caden Hilberger, 4-3, 1 out, bases loaded. Big Train on top with the Braves threatening to strike. First pitch from Martzoff, and he rifles in a fastball at the knees, 0-1 the count. A late night in Bethesda, 0-1 pitch, inside with the fastball, even at a ball and a strike. Hilberger, one of the many two-way guys for the Braves, hitting .241 on the season. Went 0 for 3 in the first game earlier this evening. So we're in game 2 of the doubleheader, 1-1. He rolls one softly, left side. The shortstop, Rasmussen Fields, tries to go to third, overthrows the third baseman, Guerrero. Here comes the runner to the plate. It's Illich, and the ball goes out of play, which means everyone moves up a base. 2 runs come in to score for the Braves, and they are back in front, 5-4 in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe what is going on in this game with the defense for the Big Train. This one, I understand going to third. That's really the only play Rasmussen had, but Guerrero not over there in time for this throw, and of course the throw then is off the line, and it's just, the fundamentals right now are just not there for the Big Train.
7th error between the 2 teams. And the Braves in front once again after they led 3-0 after the top of the first, but gave it all back up in the bottom half. To the plate, Matthew Wright, and he swings and misses at a fastball, 0-1. The infield in for the Big Train, trying to prevent any further damage.
And if you go back and watch that play, Guerrero had actually tried to go make the play.
So 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2 the count.
So
to Wright.
He did not get back, or it took him a bit to get to the third base bag, so it was going to have to be a field throw to Guerrero on the run, almost as if Guerrero was a pitcher covering first, and just didn't get over there in time.
0-2, swing and a miss. Wright goes down on the strikeout, and there are 2 away. A.J. Labrusciano to the plate.
Number 27, A.J. Labrusciano.
So the shortstop in the 9-hole steps up with the infield back at regular depth. Righty at the plate, lefty on the mound. First pitch to him. Takes a fastball just high and away, a ball and no strikes. At third is Landwehr. At second is Hilberger. 1-0, swing and a miss. The fastball with a lot of run away from the right-handed hitter. Comes up empty, does Labrusciano, a ball and a strike. Braves trying to beat the Big Train for the first time this summer. 1-1, swing and a miss again at a fastball outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Braves have lost the first 3 in this 5-game season series. Martzoff stares in, has the sign. The lefty set at the belt. 1-2. And Labrusciano just flips one off the end of his bat, foul, over towards the first base dugout. It's a ball and 2 strikes. The count remains.
The Big Train do have 6 outs to work with here. And if Martzoff can get out of that, that's massive for the Big Train.
Just a one-run game. Braves up 5-4 in the top of the 6th. We play just 7 in the second game of this doubleheader. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Martzoff. And the inning comes to an end. But the Braves take the lead. It's a costly error for the big train. And Metro Soko in front 5-4 ahead to the bottom of the 6th from Shirley Povich Field. Danny Salisbury back to the mound in the bottom of the 6th. Big Train down to their final 6 outs. Down 5-4, and Teddy Ruffner to lead things off. In a game that has been riddled with errors and crazy plays, and Ruffner takes a first pitch changeup below the knees, a ball and no strikes. 9 runs on 7 errors and just 4 hits. 1-0. Ruffner rolls one sharply to the left side. It's off the glove of Landwehr and into left field. Make it an 8th error on the night, 5th on the Braves. And the Big Train have the tying run aboard at first in Teddy Ruffner. You cannot make this stuff up.
Which is why I fully believe that we still have a long way to go with this game.
I think you're probably right. The way this game has gone. 10:30 Eastern time. Dean Twigo to the plate. Squares the bunt. Puts it down the first baseline. Salisbury off the mound to field. Picks it up and flips it to first in time for out number 1. But a successful job by Twigo to bunt Ruffner over to second on the sacrifice. And Jack Guerrero comes to the plate with 1 away and a runner in scoring position. That's the tying runner in scoring position with the Big Train down 5-4. Guerrero scored the go-ahead run at the time after he picked up the Big Train's only hit of the night. Singled and then reached second on an error by the Landwehr, the third baseman, and then reached third and scored on an error by first baseman as he takes a hearty cut at the first pitch and fouls it back. That's Halligan over at first. And we have still yet to see the Big Train have a ball leave the infield so far tonight. A couple flyouts, but nothing in the outfield grass. 0-1. And Guerrero swings and fouls one the other way on a slow changeup, 0-2. Salisbury leans in for the sign. He's ready. 0-2. Guerrero swing and a miss, a strikeout. Makes it 2 away. And Zeb Ruddle to the plate, last chance in the inning.
Well, he was big in game 1, so let's hope Zeb still has a little bit of magic left in that bat.
14, Zeb Runnels.
Hit a home run that gave the big train some cushion. In game 1.
And for Austin Morris, he was charged for the 2 runs that came in. However, they are unearned runs.
A lot of unearned runs
Yes.
tonight. 4 of them in total for the Braves, 2 for the big train. So Zeb Ruddle with the runner at second in Ruffner, the tying run at second, and 2 down. First pitch. Takes a changeup on the outside, called to strike, 0-1. Ruddle 0 for 2, a flyout and a strikeout, both against Salisbury, who relieved Alex Cross with 2 outs in the first. Has been brilliant ever since. A look back to second, once now twice, 0-1. Low and inside. With a fastball, it's a ball and a strike. Top of the order up for the Braves in the top of the 7th. The final inning of regulation, but if we're tied, obviously you head to an 8th and then potentially a 9th. 1-1. Ruddle watches a fastball zip by. Called to strike. 1-2 the count with 2 down. Ruddle holds the bat over the plate. Now leans it over his left shoulder. 1-2 pitch. Takes inside with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Salisbury leans in. He's ready. On a 2-2. Swing and a miss. The changeup fools Ruddle. And the inning comes to an end. The leadoff error does not haunt the Braves. They lead 5-4. We head to the 7th on the Big Train Baseball Network. Top of the 7th, 5-4 the Braves lead, looking to end their 6-game losing streak. As Jeffrey Coakley, the leadoff man, comes up to face Max Martzoff. Out for his first full inning of work. Came in relief of Austin Morris last time out. First pitch to Coakley. Called a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Martzoff, lefty from Florida Atlantic, winds and deals an 0-1. Swing and a miss at the fastball again, 0-2. As he's ready, 0-2 pitch. Low and inside with the fastball. A ball and 2 strikes. Martzoff, deep breath on the mound. The lefty wheels and deals a 1-2. And Coakley stays alive and fouls it back to the screen. Stays a ball and 2 strikes. Braves trying to split this doubleheader. Second doubleheader of the summer for the Big Train. 1-2. Foul tip into the glove. It goes down as a strikeout for Coakley, and there's one away.
Number 18.
Big Train with at least 2 more doubleheaders down the road. As things currently stand, they play the Grays in a doubleheader eventually.
Yeah.
We don't know when that will
Supposed to be yesterday, but yeah,
didn't happen.
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature. That's story of the summer. It's Cole Fleming takes a fastball high, a ball and no strikes, 0-for-3 day. And then a doubleheader against the Aces on July 7th. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Fleming swings out of his shoes. It's a ball and a strike. Big Train swept their first doubleheader against the Giants on Sunday. Or split the doubleheader, excuse me. 1-1. A called strike on the inside corner. A ball and 2 strikes.
That was a tough day because we had so many days off.
5 days off and then 2 games. With the first one at 10 a.m. 1-2 pitch. A fly ball down the right field line and out of play, foul. Stays a ball and 2 strikes. Fleming ready. So is Martzoff. A 1-2 pitch. Inside and it hits him. Slider spins too far inside.
Yeah, that's for everybody who is either a part of the Big Train or fan, player, coach. That's frustrating. 2 strikes, trying to get it to the bottom half of the inning to try to at least tie it up and lose him by hitting him with a slider that had no command of. And then all of a sudden there's a huge insurance run. And, I mean, with the way the Big Train's offense has been playing lately, could be a difference maker.
So Halligan to the plate, and he takes a strike, 0-1 with 1 down. And the most dangerous guy at the plate in catcher Halligan. 0-for-2 with a walk, 0-1. Takes low and outside, a ball and a strike. A game that has come out of the movies. Pick your favorite Bad News Bears edition. 1-1, a called strike in the zone, a ball and 2 strikes, the count. But the Big Train's still within striking distance with 3 outs to play with. Down just 1, 5-4 our score. 1-2. Well outside, Wargo throws back to first, and Fleming dives in safely at the bag. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Big Train still with only 1 hit.
Yeah, it's the Guerrero one, which
never left the infield.
Yes.
Well, it did after a couple errors. 2-2 outside, 3-2.
The ball was thrown further than the actual hit was.
Yes. Although the baseball might have gone up the middle, in fairness.
Yes.
But it hit off Salisbury's leg, and then chaos ensued, and the Big Train took the lead at the time, have since given it up. A throw to first, and And back safely on his feet is Fleming. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And this feels like a really make or break at bat right here for the big train.
Yeah, I would agree with you. This is where Martsolf has to try to get it together. Can't let this get away from him.
3-2. Downstairs, ball 4. And there's 2 on with 1 out. In the top of the 7th for Quinn Madden.
Number 1, Quinn Madden.
Well, Martsolf still has the ability here to get out of this with a ground ball, but it's just unfortunate because I know the big train came back and had a lead at one point, but it still feels like the Braves have been in control the majority of time throughout this game.
Madden at the plate. It certainly does. First pitch to him, and a fastball called a strike at the knees, 0-1. Led 3-0 early in this ball game, and the big train tied it up with 3 in the bottom of the first. 1 run for the big train in the 4th, and 2 in the 6th for the Braves to put them in front. 0-1. Madden pops one up, foul, out of play. Down the first base line, it's no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2. Swing and a miss. The fastball gets Madden. A strikeout for Martsolf. His 4th of the day, and there's 2 down with Travis Illich to the plate.
Number 31, Travis Illich.
Yeah, every out so far for Martsolf has been a strikeout.
2 strikeouts in the 6th, 2 strikeouts in the 7th. And the Georgetown product tries to keep the inning alive for the Braves. First pitch to him, and a fastball ranges away. Ball and no strikes. One out. Illich rolls it softly down the first baseline. Dixon Williams comes in. Martsolf boots it. It hits off his glove, and everyone is safe. At third, Fleming holds. At first is Illich, and at second is Halligan on what should be scored a single.
Yeah, I would have to agree. That was just so slowly hit down that first base line.
And the bases are loaded. Not likely Williams would have a play, but the result, once Martsolf slid and hit the ball, was that nobody had a play. And the infield comes in. Craig Lopez heads out, and let's see if Martsolf continues in this ball game. It looks like Lopez peeking down towards the bullpen, but seems like Martsolf sticking in this game. And that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah, you got a big game tomorrow. You want bullpen arms. You've already had to play a game earlier, which you used 3 pitchers in total. And it's just, you know, at this point, you just want to see if Max can get a strikeout here, try to get out of this, or any out, frankly. But it's Max, so usually it's a strikeout.
High strikeout guy. As JT Landwehr to the plate. First pitch home. Up and away with the fastball. Ball and no strikes. 22 strikeouts now in 12 2/3 innings. Almost 18 Ks per 9. 1 out. Landwehr lines it back to the screen. A ball and a strike. Base hit here could cause problems for the big train. Down to their final 3 outs. Down a run already. One. Landwehr takes a strike at the knees with a fastball and marks off ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Ready at the belt. 1-2. Landwehr flies it into right. Twygo, the right fielder, takes a few steps to his right and makes the catch. Inning over. On to the bottom of the 7th. Big Train need a run. It's 9-1-2. Due up when we return. Bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Big Train and a pinch hitter for Clay Wargo. It's Jeffrey Hurd to face Danny Salisbury, who looks to pitch in every single inning of this ball game. He relieved Alex Cross with 2 outs in the first and has allowed just 1 unearned run since.
Yeah, excellent stuff. And, you know, if you want to be built up as a long reliever or a starter, you know, you're going to be expected sometimes to go this long.
Hurd takes a first pitch, called a strike at the knees with the fastball. Nothing and 1 the count. Lucas Phelps stands on deck. 3 outs to play with, down by 1. 0-1 pitch. Hurd swings and fouls one off the catcher, Fleming. Nothing and 2, and Salisbury has had Big Train hitters confused all night.
Just a different style than you usually see. A lot of fastball, breaking ball, but he's just so heavily changeup.
He has the pitch, and he's ready. 0-2. Hurd takes downstairs in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. The Cal Ripken League leader in home runs and RBIs. At the plate for the Big Train. 1-2. Chops one softly left side. Labrusciano fields on 2 hops. Throw to first. Not in time. Hurd with the wheels. He beats it out. The leadoff man aboard. The tying run at first. And the go-ahead run comes to the plate in Lucas Phelps.
Well, they'll take it, certainly, with how Bethesda has struggled since that first inning to get base runners. Jeffrey Hurd, cold since the end of that game, in game 1 meaning, and then to come in here and be able to beat one out, that's impressive.
And John Long comes in to pinch run. So Hurd gets the job done.
Yes, if Long scores here, we might have to get footlongs for our game tomorrow.
Down at the Catalyst Hot Dog stand. Lucas Phelps at the plate. First pitch to him. He squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a fastball outside. A ball and no strikes. The tying run at first. Go-ahead run at the plate. Squares the bunt again. Long off for second. The ball is down and away. The throw to second is perfect. Coakley applies the tag, and Long is thrown out. And all of a sudden, the Big Train down to their final 2 outs with nobody aboard.
It's very similar to the game the Big Train walked off against Silver Spring, because Jeffrey Hurd reached, John Long pinch ran, John Long thrown out trying to go for second.
2-0 in the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes to Phelps. The Big Train would score a run that inning on a walk-off RBI double from Jack Guerrero. 3-0 pitch. Phelps takes a called strike at the knees. It's 3 balls and a strike. Connor Rasmussen stands on deck. The 3-1. Phelps hits a hot shot to the left side. Shortstop Labrusciano fields. Throw across the diamond in time. 2 away. And Rasmussen represents the final chance for the Big Train in the bottom of the 7th.
Oh, Rasmussen has reached twice today, though, so is having about as good a day as you can hope for, with everyone kind of struggling here. Doesn't have a hit, but a couple of walks, a run scored, also put the ball in play and flew out.
0 for 1, but mentioned the 2 walks and a run scored. First pitch swinging, ropes it down the right field line. Long run for the right fielder, Illich, and it drops in front of him. A 2-out base hit, and the game stays alive. Rasmussen with the 3rd hit of the day for the Big Train, the first that leaves the infield. And the tying run at first, the winning run at the plate in Jacob Orr, still down to their final out. Rasmussen off of first. The pitch to Orr. A fastball called to strike on the outside corner. Pressure situation at the plate for Jacob Orr. 0 for 3 today. 0-1. Change up and in. Backs out of the way. A ball on a strike. Reached on an error in the first. A pop out and a ground down in the 5th. 2 of the 3 at-bats against Salisbury. 1-1. Takes a fastball called to strike on the very outside corner. Down to their final strike. A ball and 2 strikes the count with 2 down. Rasmussen at first. And the Braves up 5-4. 1-2. It is just outside. Almost the same pitch. But this time a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Orr has got some guts taking a pitch like that in this situation.
That he does. The 2-2. Low and outside, ball 3. And the count runs full with 2 down. And it'll give Connor Rasmussen a head start at first base. The outfield plays back. No doubles defense. But the speed of Rasmussen might allow a run to score if Orr can split a gap. And it's a balk. As if this game couldn't get any crazier. A runner at second and a base hit could tie the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Orr. Chops one left side. Landwehr fields as he reaches high. Has Rasmussen off the base. Coakley there to chase him down. Tag applied from Labrusciano. And the ball game is over. The Braves snap their 6-game losing streak. They split the doubleheader with the Big Train. The final score in 7, 5-4.
Yeah, that's about... You know, with everything happening tonight, Eli, could you have predicted a wilder way to wrap it up than a rundown?
5-4-6 is how the final out gets scored. And the Big Train unable to pick up a doubleheader sweep at home tonight. As we say hello to you once again in our broadcast booth, Eli Kleinman, Adam Glover. Adam, just a game that never had any rhythm.
No, and unfortunately, what we talked about earlier you and me and Kaylee, was just, Jesse Gutierrez had to have a good start. He needed to get ahead of hitters. He didn't do that. It's the second straight time that he's kind of struggled to do that. Austin Morris, we give him a lot of credit. 2 runs, both unearned. He really kept the big train in this game. But the offense, we talked about it pregame. We've talked about it throughout the games. Just slumping a little bit lately. Just unusual from the beginning of this season.
So the big train fall 5-4, and I'll ask you, even though it is not the result they wanted, who is our player of the game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Max Martzoff on this one. It was kind of a toss-up between him and Morris because, the offense just wasn't there, and Jesse Gutierrez just didn't have the command right now. So I'm going to give it to Martzoff, though, because 4 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3, plus the fact that he was able to work out of that bases-loaded jam. I mean, what else could you ask for as a reliever going into a high-leverage situation?
Max Martzoff is our Roll-A-Bump Limited player of the game tonight in the losing effort. 5-4 the score. We'll be back tomorrow against the Alexandria Aces, a battle of 2 first-place teams here at Shirley Povich Field. Until then, we say so long and good night. It's the big train falling to the Braves, 5-4.